Namaste, everybody. My Atma Pranams to Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods. Today, we are trying to discuss another important topic to enrich our life. That is 8 secrets of extraordinary life. 8 secrets of a purposeful life. 8 secrets of a successful life. 8 secrets of meaningful life. That's what we are going to learn. We are going to discuss. From the standpoint of the human life, when we compare in comparison with a human life, animals live below ordinary life when compared to the standpoint of human life. Animals live below ordinary life. They live with 3 basic necessities of life. That's all. In Sanskrit, what they call is ahara, nidra, maithunadra. So in English, food, sleep, and procreation. These are all the animal's basic instincts are. The animals live below ordinary life when compared to the human life with the 3 basic necessities of life, that is food, sleep, and procreation. When it comes to the human beings, many of the human beings live ordinary life, not the below ordinary life like animals. They live ordinary life with the 3 more extra basic necessities of life. They live like animals, like food, sleep, and procreation. And the humans, many of the humans live with the 3 more extra basic necessities of life. In Hindi, it is called as kapda, makan, and gadi. That is clothes and home. And now this new technology, we have a vehicle for the transport. It may be a bus, or it may be a bicycle, or it may be a motorbike, or it may be a car, it may be a train, or it might be a flight, or whatever it is. Kapda, makan, or gadi. These are the many humans live. And their luxuries of those, kapda, makan, and gadi, and your related luxuries. That's what many humans live. But very few humans live extraordinary lives, adding more values than the 6 values that we just talked about: food, sleep, and procreation. Kapda, makan, or gadi, that is clothes, home, and the vehicle, transport vehicle. In addition to these 6, we add more values to these basic necessities. That's what we are going to discuss about these extra values that we need to add to our lives to live an extraordinary life, to live a purposeful life, to live a successful life, to lead a meaningful life. What is the basic purpose of the human being? To be happy, to find the joy in life, but to enjoy life. To enjoy life, if we observe, we need 3 things. Those 3 things are time, energy, or health, and money. We need three things to enjoy life: time, health and energy, and money. Those who know how to manage these three things well live extraordinary lives. If we all know how to manage time, health and energy, and money very well, those live extraordinary lives. But let us see what happens. A student time, we have time and we have health and a lot of energy, but we don't have enough money at that time to enjoy life. So we always lack one thing when we read ordinary lives. A student has time and energy but not enough money. He knows at the time, if he knows the importance of the money, then he will enjoy the life at the student level in an extraordinary way, provided he knows the importance of the money. If he knows, he leads the life well. When a student becomes a professional and start making money, a family man, he has money and he has a health and energy, but because of his profession, he does not have enough time to enjoy. At that time, if he knows the importance of the time, also, then he knows how to lead the life well. When a professional person becomes a retired person, he has money and he has time, but he does not have energy or health because he put his health in jeopardy for making his money. Now he knows the importance of health and energy. But even if he knows it, it is too late. Then, even when he knows the importance of money, then he will spend all his wealth to buy back his health, and sometimes even it is not possible. So, one who knows the importance of the time and energy and money at all the times, from the student level, when he is a working professional time, and during retired time. One should know the importance of the time, energy and health, and the money. Now, let us discuss what do we mean by extraordinary life? What do we mean by purposeful life? What do we mean by successful life? What do we mean by meaningful life? To explain this, I put a 5-point definition for extraordinary life. 5-point definition. Extraordinary life is a life with physical well-being. Second one is extraordinary life is with emotional or mental well-being. The extraordinary life is with social well-being. And the extraordinary life is with financial well-being. These are the 4 pillars of an extraordinary life. Number 1 is physical well-being, and mental or emotional well-being, and social well-being, and financial well-being. These are the 4 walls, 4 pillars of the extraordinary life or meaningful life or purposeful life or successful life. But there is a central pillar in the middle of these four pillars, which we also need to add more texture to this extraordinary life, that like called spiritual well-being. Total, we need 5 pillars to live an extraordinary life or spiritual life, purposeful life, successful life, or meaningful life, whatever you call that as. Again, a life with physical well-being, a life with emotional well-being, a life with social well-being, a life with financial well-being, and a life with spiritual well-being. These are the 5 pillars that we need in our life to lead a successful life. The first thing that every one of us to do to find out where we are now at this time. Are we living an extraordinary life now? Are we living a purposeful life or successful life or a meaningful life at this time? If not, where are we now? And then, after knowing where we are and where you want to be, that's the second step. Then you have to know the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Then we will live such a life and make some necessary changes in our life to fill this gap of what we are and what we want to be, and to fill this gap. So to do that, first we need to have the awareness of where we are, what we are, and where we stand at this time in the journey of the extraordinary life. That is called awareness. Once you get the awareness of where you are, then you know the gap, then you will have a choice to make and how to start your journey and how to reach there and how to fill that gap. Once you start your know the choice and fulfill the choice, and then you make necessary changes in your life, then you will execute your choice. After we are aware where we stand, we have to choose our next step, how to reach and what to change in our life if we want to reach the high, fill that gap. Then once you put your choice into practice, by implementing the changes, you attain the results of where you want to be. So this is the 3-step process of fulfilling our wish of living the extraordinary life. Number 1 is awareness. Awareness leads to choice, and choice implementing lead to the results, and then you will reach where you want to be. These are the 3 things we always should remember. Awareness, choice, and the results. So we should know the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That is called awareness. Apply changes in our lives to close the gap. That is choice. And you reach where you wanted to be. That is nothing but results. Human brains always seeks novelty. Human brain seeks always change. That is the reason why we have this much technological development over the last decades. Human brains always seeks novelty, always try to invent new things, and always find change. Human brain seeks novelty. But at the same time, the human mind resists change. Human mind does not want to change. There is a difference between the mind and the brain. The subtle brain is the mind, and the gross mind is the brain. But I don't want to go into details of it. The human brain seeks novelty, but the human mind resists change. It does not change. So the human weakness, because it resists change, the human mind uses it to postponing things. Let us do tomorrow. Procrastination is very common to the normal human mind. It does not want change. It wants to be happy where it is. It does not want to take any risks in life. It always wants to live in its comfort zone. That's how the normal human mind behaves. That we need to change the behavior of the human mind and should work along with the human brain, which seeks the novelty. And then we have to check the choices and make the journey to reach the destination of extraordinary life. So the greatest risk of life is not taking any risk. We don't know when our life ends. We don't know when it will be our last day. So we have to act in such a way that today is the only day that we have to live. The only certainty of life is uncertainty. So the habit of postponing, the habit of not taking any risk, the habit of living in our comfort zone, we should change that habit if you want to live an extraordinary life or meaningful life or spiritual life or fruitful life or holy life. So, what are the things that you need to implement? You need to bring into your life. What are the secrets that you have to unravel and unfold to bring the changes in your life and to reach the stage and where you live the extraordinary life? Then we will talk. I would like to introduce those 8 things. As I have already discussed earlier, the very first thing is health. Health is very, very, very important. Without that, we can't do nothing in this life. That's what we were told. Health is wealth. But the wealth is the one that we ignore the most part. We take the health for granted till we lose it. When we are young, we ignore health, enjoying the life, making all kinds of very attractive habits. When we are earners, we ignore health to make money. When we retire, we don't have health to enjoy the money that we earn. Even by spending all the money that we earn, we won't get back the health that we need. So we take the health for granted till we lose it. So what are the benefits of the health that we can get by maintaining our health? The 2 things that are very much needed to maintain our health is exercise and the diet. These are the 2 things that we maintain. We need exercise and diet. These are the 2 main mantras of the health. And that's the reason Patriji always talks about the diet, that is Sakahara Jagat. So what are the benefits of the health? So when you are healthy, it makes you happier. If you are healthy, it makes you happier. When you are happy, then your thinking gets clear. When your thinking gets clear, you take better decisions in life. When you take the better decision in life, then you get the better results in the life. Then when you are healthy, you have a lot of better energy. When you have a better energy, then you less stressful when you are healthy. And imagine when you are ill, when you are sick, your stress hormones go to the higher levels in your body. But when you are healthy, when you are happy, your stress hormones comes down like adrenaline and epinephrine and all that. And also, when you are healthy, you look beautiful and you look handsome. And when you look better, you have better confidence in you to get the things done. These are all the things that you will get because of the health. And I also want to tell you one more thing. There are 4 diseases by which we, the doctors, live. We make our fortunes. We make our bread and butter only because of the 5 handful of the diseases. If people don't have these diseases, almost more than 60-70% of the doctors don't have any job. Those are nothing but hypertension, diabetes mellitus, high cholesterol heart disease, and gastroesophageal reflux disease. These are the 5 diseases. Another one is the stroke or anxiety. These are the 5 diseases by which the doctors make their bread and butter. But surprisingly, these 5 diseases are preventable. If you maintain the proper health by maintaining daily exercise and proper diet, these 5 diseases are preventable. High salt intake causes the hypertension. High carbohydrate intake causes the diabetes mellitus. High fatty food intakes cause the high cholesterol. High spicy food intake causes GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. So these are all the causes, these are all the preventable causes. So that is there in your hands if you want to maintain the health. And you are out of 70% of the patients that are there in the patient community. And you can make your doctor jobless. And also, the vegetarian diet is also very, very important. That's the reason the Patriji encourages Sakahara Jagat. And there are some more tips about the eating, our dietary habits. We always eat more than what we need. We always eat more than what we need. And we need lot lesser food than what we need, what we eat. So we should eat to live, but we should not eat, we should not live just to eat. If you don't choose what you eat will eat you. If you don't choose what you eat will eat you. It doesn't matter what you eat, but it really matters what eats you. So the good eating habits are: don't eat after 7 p.m. in the night. And because by the time you go to bed, your food should cross your tummy. And then you will wake up early, then you can wake up early in the morning. If you eat late, and most of your energy will be spent by your gastrointestinal tract to digest the food, then you will not have enough rest, enough energy to wake up early. So you should not eat anything before after 7 p.m. In that way, you can wake up early in the morning, and waking up early in the morning is very, 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 very good habit, because you will have time to do the exercise, you have to do your meditation, and you have to do all productive activities for your spiritual life. And also, you need a lot of water, almost 8 glasses of water you need to take, because whenever you feel lack of energy, whenever you feel tiredness, that means there is less water in your body. Almost 90% of your brain contains water. Whenever there is no water in your brain, then means your brain feels tired. That's the reason you need to drink a lot of water, at least 8 glasses of water you need to eat every day. That's very important. The exercise, meditation in the early morning, and waking up in the early morning, and eating the vegetarian diet, and not eating after 7 p.m., and drinking a lot of water. These are all, if you make a continuous habit in your life, that is the you achieved, and you got out of the first secret of the successful life. This is very, very important. That is the health is the number one. The second one is attitude. With what kind of attitude you live in our daily life? The attitude of gratitude is the number one important thing in your life. You celebrate simple things in life, because you have so many things in your life which you don't recognize the importance of those things. So, whatever the simple things that you see in your life, try to express the attitude of gratitude for every simple thing that you have in your life. That's the reason I tell to the children who comes to my Saturday classes, as soon as you wake up in the morning, and as soon as you get down from the bed, you please make the bed, thanking the bed that it gave you a nice sleep in the whole night, and express the attitude of gratitude towards the bed, and make the bed at the same time, and expressing the attitude of gratitude. That's the reason I tell to my students on Saturdays. Like this, because there are so many occasions you can express your attitude of gratitude for every small thing in your life, for being in America, for learning the English language, for having a nice car, by having a nice spouse, by having a nice children, and by having our meditation friends, and by getting into this meditation habit. For everything, all thing, we have to express the attitude of gratitude. Then attitude of positivity. Always think in a positive aspect. The glass is not half empty, glass is half full attitude. And that's why an optimist say glass is half full. The pessimist will say glass is half empty. But the realist will say glass is always full. It is half full with water and half full with air. The realist will say glass is always full. And also, when you have an attitude, whenever the problems comes, you have to have an attitude towards your problems. Problems you have to recognize as growth of opportunities. Whenever you have a problem, you have to wait. Oh, what this problem is going to teach me? And how do I face this problem and learn to come out of this problem? How these problems will teach me to come out of this. Like that, you have to have an attitude towards the problems, thinking that problems are the growth opportunities. And also, when you develop a good attitude, you have to have some reference points. That means whomever you like the attitude of some great leaders, and study the autobiographies of those leaders, what kind of attitude they have, and how did they build that attitude throughout their lives. And these are called as reference points that you can reach the autobiographies of the great leaders. And you have to read the inspirational literature almost every hour, at least 10 days, 10 pages a day. Every day you have to read at least an inspirational literature. If you read 10 pages a day, it will be almost every book has a 300 pages almost on an average. I checked it. And you read one book by a month. That means 1 year you will read 12 books in a year. See how much knowledge you will get by reading a 10 pages a day. And the last one in attitude is you use your language very, 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 very positively. When you speak to your children, when you speak to your spouse, when you speak to your friends, anywhere, don't use any negativity in your language. Always use this positive language because words become reality. Because I don't want to go to too much details of it because of the lack of time. Because use the positive language, and because words have a reality hidden inside them. Use the positive language. This is the attitude things that you should implement if you want to lead an extraordinary life. The second one. The third secret of the successful or extraordinary life is character. Is very, 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 very important. Character speaks when the situation arises. I can tell 100 things about the good character, but when the real situation arises, then how I act at that particular time, that will really, the character comes out of a person. And it is very, very, very important to build a character. My father used to say, it may take 30 years to build a character, but it may take 3 seconds to lose the character. It may take 30 years to build a character. It may take 3 seconds to lose the character. That much is important, character. So how you build a character? You have to honesty, ethics, and integrity. These are the three more very important things in building the character: honesty, ethics, and integrity. I would like to spend a couple of more minutes on the integrity. What does integrity means? Integrity means how do you behave when nobody is watching you? That is integrity. How do you behave when nobody is watching you? Because most of us, many people who has an integrity gap, we call it as an integrity gap, because there is a person inside and there's a different person outside. And you should be the same inside and the outside if you want to have a real character. That's the reason why when I went to my guru, Swami Bodhananda Saraswati, on the very first day he told me, if you want my disciple, there's a one thing that you should vote to me, that you should not have any secrets in your life. You should tell everything to me, because your inside life and outside life should be the same. And at the same time, I asked him also, and he also promised that his inside and outside life is the same. And he told me everything about his life. So we are open books to each other. And then we started our spiritual journey together. So your actions should speak your personality. That is the real character. And also your character should be in such a way that you create a value to yourself. You create a value to yourself, and you create your value to yourself by helping others in whatever way you can. And also, your character building is Keep your promises. Keeping your promises is very, very, very important, particularly with your children. Whenever you make a promise, keep it. That protects your character. And also, other character hint is common sense of telling sorry and thank you. Whenever you say sorry, please mean it by what you say. Sorry is a very, very, very common word that we use. We just say it, but we don't mean it. It does not come from our heart. It just comes from our lips. Whenever we say thank you, you feel it what you told. Sometimes, whenever somebody really helps me, I say thank you, and at the end, I say what I mean what I said. That's what I always say. I mean what I said, I say. So common sense of saying the sorry and thank you. Whenever you get help, say thank you. Whenever you do something mistake, you say sorry, but tell it by heart, because that is the integrity thing. And next one is character is don't give up. Persistence is the key to success. There is another great character of the success people and who wants to live the extraordinary life. Persistence. Don't give up. Keep on, keep going. And I would like to remember a diamond story. And a person bought a 1 acre of land. Somebody told there are diamonds in that land. He was digging months together. He dug it out. And he could not find the diamond. Then he sold it to 1/10 of the price that he bought it to the other person. Other person went there and when he dug that land on the first day, he found the diamond right there. That means the first person gave up on it, and all the work that the first person did helped to the second person to get the diamond. That's the reason. Don't give up. Keep trying. Successful people are the most among who failed. We see only the success, but we don't know, we don't see how many failures are there behind the success of that person. If you don't fail at least once a week, that means you are not in the road to you are not on the road to success. So we have to embrace the failure if you want to embrace the success. That should be the character that you should develop if you want to be lead an extraordinary life. The next one is relationships and community around you. How you maintain your social well-being. This comes under social well-being. Relationships and community around you. And my father used to say, tell about your friends, I will tell about you. That was the proverb. Birds of the same feathers flock together. And whenever you have a relationships, the things that builds the relationships are forgiveness of the other person, appreciation of the other person, encouragement of the other person, non-judgmental nature are the key things to build the relationships. And be a person of service. Wherever you think that you can be helpful, and try to be that person who is willing to help. Be the person of service. And whenever you want to build the relationships in the family or in the community, and particularly in the family, when your spouse writes some love letters in the family. What I mean is, when you have a spouse, write to the spouse, I love you, and then put it on a mirror in the night. When your spouse comes to the next day morning to brush his or her tooth, by seeing that, he or she feels very happy. Like that, write a love letter to your kids and put it on their lunchbox. And when you go and open it, they see it. These small things can bring a major changes in the family relationships. And whenever somebody does a good thing for you, somebody helped you, just send an email or a text message of thanking them and expressing your gratitude to them. And these are the ways that you can improve the relationships and community relationship around you. And if you like somebody, and if you want to be like that person, if you like somebody, and set up some conversations with the people who you like, and sit with them for some time, find some time to be with them and chat with them, so you can develop some connection with the right people at the right time, so you can get their attitude also and make your attitude. So this is the way you can make the relationships and build a community around you, which is very, very much essential for being a social well-being, which is the one of the four important factors of successful living that I just mentioned in the beginning. The next one is called competence. Competence means be the best in whatever you do. Don't be the jack of all trades and master of none. Be the master of one. You may not be the jack of all trades, but be the master of one. Be the best whatever you do. Find out what are the 10 best things that successful people do daily. And find out how many of those you do daily. And we do very, very few of those things that successful people do. Here are some tips that I can give how to maintain the competence. At least read 60 minutes every day about your field. If you are a computer engineer, read at least 60 minutes about some program or some new thing and keep updating yourself, so you will be very highly marketable in your job market. And even we doctors, we always have to continuously learn, and we have to renew our license every 3 years, and we have to learn a continuous medical education credit, and we have to prove and show them the proof that we are updating our knowledge to get our license renewed. So reading 60 minutes every day in any field that you are in is very, very important to maintain that competence. If you want to be a spiritual person, if you want to be a spiritually evolved person, read at least 60 minutes on spiritual books every day. And also you can maintain the competence. If you want to be a competent, have some mentors and advisors. And if somebody is very good, have a higher knowledge in your field, and make those persons your mentors. Make those persons as your advisors and try to learn from them. Don't envy of them. Oh, they know more than me. Like that. No, accept that they know more than you and try to make them mentors and advisors and learn from them. That's why you increase your competence. And whenever there are seminars there, whenever there are workshops, whenever the talks of the great people, attend those talks, attend those seminars, and attend those workshops. Thereby, you increase the competence of what you do. That's why your financial stability will be strengthened by doing this, because you are highly marketable in the job market. And also one more thing, commute learning. Nowadays, most of our are the home-based workers. But when you commute learning, whenever you drive, put something in the tape and listen to it when you drive. Make your car a mobile learning center and try to listen about something. Use the 60 minutes, 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes one way. put some CD or something and learn and use that time very properly. Commute learning. This is called make your that car as a mobile learning center. These are some tips how to increase your competence and be new in the job market, and financially you will be always up to date, and that will help you for your financial well-being. And the sixth one is discipline. Discipline is the sixth one thing. I can only say three things about the discipline. Get up early. Do what is good, not what is easy. Finish what you start. I want to spend a couple of minutes on this. Get up early. Getting up early is the very, very useful thing in our life. Even in spirituality, between 3:30 to 6, between 3 to 5, that is called as Brahma Muhurta. This is called as holy time. And you don't have to wake up at 3. At least if you wake up at 4 to 6, if you have the 2 hours in your hand, and spending the 2 hours properly in the morning time will bring tremendous changes in your life. And you can do the meditation, and you can do some exercise, and you can do some journaling, and you can read, and you can do so many things, and you have a lot of time in the day that you can spend. You feel as if you are not stressed, and you feel a lot of time in your hand. That is, getting up early is very, very, very easy. And one more thing, the most successful people in the world, all the CEOs who are very, very successful, if you go and study in their life habits, most of them, almost all of them, get up early in the morning. Almost everybody. So getting up is very, very, very early. Getting up early is very important thing if you want to be successful in your life, and if you want to lead an extraordinary life. And one more thing, do what is good, not what is easy. Bhagavad Gita also says about Shreyas and Preyas. Because we always try to do what is easy, but we don't try to do what is good. And if you are going, there is $100 bill is on the floor, and the easiest thing is take it out and put it in your pocket. And the good thing is look around, and is anybody searching for the last bill, or if anybody there, and try to the other, and like that, try to help and give it to somebody who needs the money, and find a beggar or somebody, and use that $100 in a proper way, not for your own self, is the right thing to do. This was a small example. Like, do what is good and not what is easy. The third very important disciplinary thing, that third one is finish what you start. Most of us start many things, but we don't finish what you start. So in your life, you have certain things in your life that I started this and I finished it. And you please go on retrospectively, you can introspect yourself how many things you started and stopped in the middle. That is the sign of indiscipline. If you finish what you started, that is the measure of the discipline inside you. That is the discipline. And we are running out of time. I'm going a little bit. We have two more things to talk about. And next one is called balance. The seventh one is the balance. The balance is very, very, very important if you want to lead a successful life. So Money, energy, and time, you should balance all the time. When you are angry as a student, or when you are a money earner, or when you are a retired person, always you have to manage balance between money, health, and the time. Very, very, you have to balance the of those things very, very nicely. Then you can enjoy even your student life and your professional life and also your retirement life. And work life balance is very, 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 very important. And your family life is very important at the same time, your professional life. And you have to know how to balance your work and life balance and avoid extremes in our life. And also you have to know how to balance the pain and the pleasure in life, and how to balance the happiness and sorrow. And when you know how to balance between pain and the pleasure, when you have a pain in your life, you should not go into the depression. When you have a pleasure in life, you should not forget others, and you should get not to get elevated too much. And you should find balance when you have a pain or pleasure. When you have should maintain balance when you have a happiness and sorrow. You know how to maintain this pains of the pairs of opposites, and this is the balanced nature is very, very. So maintain balance also among your five things that I already told you. Maintain balance among your physical, emotional, social, financial, and spiritual life. If you want to be spiritual, don't go and spend all your time doing the meditation all the time, ignoring your spouse and children. That's not right. And you have to have a spiritual life, but at the same time, you have to have a family life too. And you should not have, you should have a financial life, but at the same time, you should not ignore your physical life. And you should not have a physical life, you should not have a social life also. Like that, we have to maintain balance between physical, emotional, social, financial, and spiritual life. Then only your life will be an extraordinary life. The last and final thing is time management. Time management is the eighth thing. Everyone has same 24 hours a day. A president of United States has 24 hours. A sweeper in the office also has the 24 hours. So it is the only thing how we use that time of 24 hours is very, very, very important. People say, I have no time. The statement that I have no time is a myth. People always can find a time. Only thing is, when they say that I don't have time, that means they don't know how to manage their time. Period. So always make time for planning. Whenever they say I don't have time, that means they don't know how to plan their day. So if you plan a day correctly, when you wake up, if you plan the whole day, then the day goes very, very, very smoothly. Also in your life, this is what I did personally. And when I was, you have a 10 years goal in your life, where I want to be after 10 years of my life. And after 10 years, you have to have a 5 years. If I want to be there at 10 years, where I need to be in 5 years. If I want to be there in 5 years, where I need to be in 1 year. If I want to be there at 1 year there, where I need to be there in 1 month. If I want to be there at 1 month, where I need to be there in 1 week. If I want to be there in 1 week, where I need to be there in 1 day. If you plan your life like this, and then your life will be very, very, very beautiful, and it will be lived very, very effectively. And also focus on priorities. What your priority, at what time, what is your priority. At one time, my priority was making money. And after some time, my priorities changed. Making money was not my priority. Spiritual upliftment was my priority. So one time I wanted a family, and that my priorities changed. And once by then, and your priorities also change. So like that, you have to plan for 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. That's the way you have to plan your time. And focus on priorities and setting boundaries. Don't cross the boundaries. Otherwise, you will be everywhere. And also, think differently, act differently. Don't do like a mass attitude. So if you want to go to the office, start early and try to commute at less traffic times. For example, when I started my work in a VA hospital, they have two options. I can go at 7 o'clock, or I can go at 8 o'clock, or 8 to 4:30 is one option, or 7 to 3:30 is one option. And yet, because the roads were very busy and the traffic was very high, and I chose the time 7 o'clock because there was no traffic on the road. When I go to the hospital, there was nobody, and my patient start at 8 o'clock. So I have 1 hour time to leisurely set right and get the things ready and see, look at the patients and know about the patients and plan my whole day and like that. But everybody working at the office, I leave at 3:30. When I leave at 3:30, again roads were empty. And by the time I'll be home at 4. And still I have almost from 4 to 9, I have my time to spend on my spiritual journey. Like that, think differently. And then we can have a better time management. Like this, if we can practice health and attitude, character, and relationships and community around you, and competence, discipline, and maintain balance, and the time management. If you manage these 8 things very well and aware of these 8 things and bring these 8 things in your life and make them work effectively in your life, there is no doubt that you will be leading an extraordinary life, a purposeful life, a successful life, and a meaningful life by all means. Some of these I told you based upon my personal experience. Thank you.